Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we do here is fire. You guys know the drill. So let's get right to our show. I have for you guys today here on Recap Monday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. We're going to be going over about two segments. We might add a third one, but we will see. First up, our first two segments that are definite we're going to be going over is we're going to be going over all 32 NFL teams' draft grades and what would I give them for their draft grades and what we'll see what the NFL did. It's kind of similar to what we did on Friday, but now instead of the first round, we're going to be going over all rounds and their final grade. So we're going to be going over that. In our second segment, we'll be going over the NBA and NHL playoff bracket. Where do series stand right now? What games are looking promising? What series are looking promising in the future? So we'll be going over that. And if we do have time for today, we'll be going over some sports stories I have for you guys today. If not, you guys can check that sports stories on my TikTok on the Fire Sports Pod because we will be definitely getting them on there as well. So hope you guys had a great weekend, and let's cap off this week, starting with Recap Monday, Season 3, Episode 12. I'm your host, Zack Jackson, here on the Fire Sports Pod. Let's get right into it. So first up, we're going to be going over the NFL draft. We had some surprises. We had some shockers. We had a lot of things going on in the NFL draft over the weekend and on Thursday of last week. So let's go start with the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to give them, well, the NFL gave them an A-. I'm going to give them an A+. They started off with getting Ohio State wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr., number 4 overall. They also got Missouri defensive tackle in the first round, Darius Robertson, number 27 overall. They got Rutgers defensive back Max Melton in the second round at number 43. Florida State running back Trey Benson at number 66. You have Illinois offensive guard Isaiah Adams, number 71 overall. You have Illinois tight end Tip Riemann, number 82 overall. Boston College defensive back Elijah Jones, number 90 overall. Texas Tech defensive back Doron Taylor Demerson, number 104 overall. Clemson linebacker Xavier Thomas, 138 overall. You had Texas offensive tackle Christian Jones, number 162 overall. UAB wide receiver Tijon Palmer, number 191 overall. And Miami defensive back Jaden Davis, number 226 overall. Their day 1 grade for the draft was an A. Their day 2 grade was a B. Their day 3 grade was an A. I'm going to go with an A for day 1, an A- for day 1, a B+ for day 2, and an A- for day 3. For me, I think overall they get an A+. The Cardinals did a nice job over the first 2 days of the draft. They acquired picks via trade, found home run hitters on offense in Harrison and Benson, and added an inside-outside pass rusher that threat in Robertson. They landed athletic corners in Melton and Elijah Jones, as well as Adams and Riemann also met needs, though they were picked a bit earlier than expected. But, hey, they got the job done. Now, we move to the Falcons. The Falcons, they get a C. They really fumbled the bag on this draft. They signed Kirk Cousins to a big monster contract, and the fact of the matter is they took, with their first the number 8 overall pick in their draft, they picked quarterback from Washington, Michael Penix Jr. I do think Michael Penix Jr. is a really good quarterback in this draft, barring he's older and his injury history. But at the same time, you got to realize, like, damn, like, really? Like, that's a little weird. So Michael Penix Jr., I do think, should have went to another team. But, hey, the Falcons got him. Do I think it's a good move? No. The fact of the matter is you have Kirk Cousins on a big contract. So as we move back, we go into the Atlanta Falcons. We just went over the Cardinals. We were going over Washington QB Michael Penix Jr. Right now, guys, here on the YouTube show, we are on TikTok Live. We're going to be going over the Falcons. Like we said, Michael Penix Jr., I thought should have never went to the Falcons. I think that was a bad move. I don't think it makes any sense in the world. The fact of the matter is they have Kirk Cousins onto a big contract, like I said. They also picked Clemson defensive end Rook Oraholo at number 35 overall. Washington offensive linebacker Braylon Trice at number 74 overall. Oregon defensive back Brandon Dorlos, number 109 overall. Notre Dame linebacker J.D. Bertrand at number 143. Alabama running back Jace McClan at number 186. Illinois wide receiver Casey Washington at number 187. And Georgia defensive end Zion Logue at number 197. If you look at it, I give them a C. I said it earlier. I give them a C for their grade. I just did not like really any of their stuff for day 1 and day 2. Day 3, I think they did pretty good. I give them a B+ for day 3, for day 3 grade. Great. Day 2 and day 1, I gave them a D+. Day 2, I give them a C. And then that, to be honest, I think they end up with a C in the total. I just don't think these guys really deserve a grade higher than C, because it's just the fact that they've picked Michael Penix Jr. I just don't think it's really any it just doesn't really make any sense. Like I said, it was a strange draft for the Falcons, primarily because of the Penix selection, which was perplexing given their investment in Kirk Cousins this offseason. Penix's strong arm and accuracy from the pocket could make him a star if the injury woes that plagued him at Indiana don't return. Trading up to grab the athletic Orville was a reach, in my opinion, especially given the team's need at corner. Trice met a crucial need at the edge, but just all in all, I don't think they did right this draft. Now we move to Baltimore. The Baltimore Ravens, they did their shit in the draft. I give them an A-. Same with the NFL. They picked up Clemson defensive back Nate Wiggins, number 30 overall. That was a big pickup late in the first round. Washington offensive tackle Rogers Garton at number 62 overall. They picked up Penn State linebacker Adisa Isaac at number 93. North Carolina wide receiver Devontae Walker at number 113. Iowa State DB TJ Tampa, number 130. Marshall running back Rasheen Ali, number 165. Kentucky QB Devin Larry at number 218. 218. Michigan State center Nick Samak at number 228. And Purdue defensive back Sanozi Kane at number 250. Day one grade, I give them a B. Day 2 grade, I give them an A-, and day 3 grade, I give them an A-. I think they end up with an A- for the whole draft. I think they did really good in this draft. The Ravens had yet another solid draft. Wiggins' elite recovery speed earned him a first-round slot, but he must answer questions about his lean frame and inconsistent tackle translates to the next level. Rogers Garton and Isaac were great value picks at 2 need spots. Buffalo, I'm going to give them a A. I'm actually going to give Buffalo an A. NFL has them at a B+. I got them at an A. They picked up Florida State wide receiver Keon Coleman after losing Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. They definitely needed another wide receiver at number 33 overall. First pick in the second round, I believe. Utah defensive back Cole Bishop at number 60 overall. Duke defensive tackle Dwayne Carter at number 95. Kentucky running back Ray Davis at number 128. Georgia center Cedric Van Pran Griner, number 141. Washington linebacker Edafon Ulasfashal, number 160 overall. Troy defensive end Javon Solman and number 168. UCF offensive tackle Talon Grambo and number 204. Penn State defensive back Daquan Hardy and number 219. And OT Travis Clayton at number 221. For their draft grade, the Buffalo Bills, I give them a draft grade of a B. Day 2 grade, I give them an A-. And day 3 grade, I'm going to give them an A-. So in all, I give the Buffalo Bills an A for the whole draft. I just think they did really well. And yeah, that's it. Hey, what's up, my man? Hey, how you doing, Aiden? Appreciate the like. Your Ravens did really good, my man. Definitely, I gave them an A+, I believe, or A. In the draft, something around there. I know the NFL had them an A-. I gave them, I think, an A+. Now, Buffalo found the potential big play wide receiver it needed in Coleman after trading down twice in round one for relatively small gain. It will be interesting to see if dealing with the Chiefs so Kansas City could pick speedy pass catchers, Xavier Worthy comes back to bite the Bills. Bishop should be a good starter. Carter adds determination and leadership to the defensive line, although he was picked a bit earlier than expected. I did not know this, but I was informed actually by my dad. He was actually the one to tell me, and then I looked it up to actually think both the GMs or owners of the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs are friends. So they just traded that pick to them so they could pick Xavier Worthy, which is the fastest wide receiver in the NFL in the draft. And in the combine was the fastest 40-yard dash to ever recorded in NFL history. Why would you ever let your conference foe take that? Like that's to me is just embarrassing. I just don't think it. Ravens A is a great. I love what they did. Yep, same here. I agree with that, Aiden. I do. Carolina Panthers. I give them a. I'm trying to go with a B or a C plus. I'd probably give them a B. They picked up South Carolina wide receiver Xavier Legette, number 32 overall. Texas running back Jonathan Brooks, number 46 overall. Kentucky linebacker Trayvon Wallace, number 72 overall. Texas tight end Jay Tavan Sanders, number 101 overall. Washington State DB Charles Smith Wade, number 157 overall. Mississippi State defensive end Jaden Crumdy, number 200 overall. Michigan linebacker Michael Barrett, number 240 overall. Day one grade, I give them a D plus. Day two, I give them an A minus. Day three, I give them a B minus. And in all, I think they get a B for the draft. Analysts, Carolina gave up. They eventually turned into the number one overall pick in this year's draft as part of last year's trade to select quarterback Bryce Young. The Panthers moved up to spot to pick Legette at the end of round one. He would need to show he was a better pick than several other wide receivers selected in the second round. Brooks should be an excellent back one, recovered from his knee injury. Wallace was an excellent value in round three and could take over for Frankie Louv, who exited in free agency. Now the Bears, I give them an A++, barring the fact that quarterback Caleb Williams actually turns and pans out to be what everyone keeps saying he is. I think he's going to be a bust, but hey, I thought they should kept Justin Fields, but I don't know nothing. USC quarterback Caleb Williams, number one overall. I like the pick. I just don't think they needed that pick. I think it's a good pick. It's the best player in the draft. I would have probably picked Marvin Harrison Jr. I know I'm Ohio State biased, but to be honest, man, I think he was the best player in the NFL draft combined. Everything. Any type of position, I think he's the best. But the Bears thought otherwise. They shipped Justin Fields to the Steelers. Think they should have kept him. Imagine Justin Fields, Marvin Harrison Jr., Romeo Odonzo, as well as Moore and all these guys. That would be something. Yeah. Aiden said all Caleb Williams has to do is throw for 4,000 yards this season, and he'll be the Bears' GOAT QB. It was probably because I don't know last time. I think it was Jay Cutler the last time they had a 4,000-yard thrower. So it's been a while. Then number two, the second pick they had in the draft, they had number 9 overall, a wide receiver from Washington, Romo Odunze. Yale offensive tackle Kieran Amagajia. I can't even pronounce these last names. It's ridiculous. Number 75 overall, Iowa a punter Torrey Taylor, number 122 overall. Kansas defensive end Austin Booker, number 144. Day one grade, I give them an A. Day two grade, I give them an A minus. Day three grade, I give them a B plus. I think in general they get an A minus to an A plus. Williams and Dozo combined for DJ Moore and Keenan Allen could give the Bears their best passing attack since the merger. The second round pick that was dealt to Washington from Montez Sweat should pay off now. His contract has been extended. And Manji should contribute as a backup in the 2024 and his potential start down the road. Cincinnati, they're a tricky one. They need some help. I give them a B plus. NFL gave them a B minus. They got Georgia offensive tackle Amarius Mims, number 18 overall. I like that pick. Michigan defensive tackle Chris Jenkins. Yeah, Aiden said that he thought the Bears would have picked a pass rusher when Ndozi instead of taking a wide receiver. I thought so too, but to be honest, the pass catching ability that now they have of Caleb Williams, Ndozi, Keenan Allen, and DJ, it's going to be ridiculous. So I think that was great. But they did pick up. They got a defensive tackle. No, they picked up wide receiver, they picked up offensive tackle, and they picked up a defensive end in number 144, Austin Booker. So they did all right. Now, Bengals, I give them a B plus. They got Georgia offensive tackle Amarius Mims, number 18 overall. Michigan defensive tackle Chris Jenkins, number 49 overall. Alabama wide receiver Jermaine Burton, number 80 overall. Texas A&M NT McKinley Jackson, number 97 overall. Iowa tight end Eric All, number 115 overall. TCU defensive back Josh Newton, number 149 overall. Arizona tight end Tanner McLaughlin, number 194 overall. Mississippi defensive end Cedric Johnson, number 214 overall. Mississippi DB Dejon Anthony, number 224 overall. Miami center Matt Lee, number 237 overall. Day one grade, I give them a C minus. Day 2 grade, I give them a B plus, and day 3 grade, I give them a B minus. Mims is a boom or bust pick at tackle. He certainly has the size to win the next level, but his limited experience, 8 starts at Georgia, is a concern. The team doubled up on defensive tackles the day 2 as it looks to replace DJ Reader. Burton presented excellent value. He could become a key contributor to the offense, especially if the Bengals and T. Higgins don't work out a long-term agreement. I do agree with that. They're pretty well picked. With the loss of Joe Mixon as well, this is going to be an interesting season coming up for the Bengals. C plus for the Cleveland Browns. NFL gave them. I gave them a C minus. They got Ohio State defensive tackle Michael Hall Jr., number 54 overall. He's great. I think he's going to be a great talent for the defensive tackle for the Browns. Michigan offensive guard Zack Zinter, number 85 overall. Louisville wide receiver Jameer Thrash, number 156 overall. Mississippi State linebacker Nathaniel Watson, number 206 overall. South Dakota DB Miles Harden, number 227 overall. Cincinnati defensive tackle Jawan Briggs, number 243 overall. I give them a C minus for this draft. Day 1 grade, I gave them a D minus. Day 2 grade, I'm going to give them an A. And day 3 grade, I gave them an A minus. So I kind of like the way they're going. But at the same time, they didn't really have a good draft. The Browns, 2022 trade for Deshaun Watson is still very much in the work in progress. The QB's performance thus has not provided for the team with much of a return on the raft of picks shifted in Houston, including the 1st and 4th round picks in this year's haul, and Zinner stay in the Big Ten country when the former Buckeye looking to wreak havoc on the defensive line, and Zinter likely to bounce back from injury to be a long-term starter. Now, my Dallas Cowboys, NFL gave them an A minus. Some people gave them a C plus. I don't know how I could give him anything, but I did like the move when they went for Oklahoma offensive tackle Taylor Gutun, number 29 overall. I like that pick. Definitely shirt off that offensive tackle. He could kind of move from offensive tackle to guard. We need that with the departure of Tyron Smith, as well as our whole offensive line is getting older and older. So I do like that pick of number 29 overall. Western Michigan defensive end Marshawn Nealon, number 56 overall. He actually was pretty good this year. I do think it's not bad. We do need some big man and some help at the defensive end, especially with the barring fact that we need to stop the run. And we got Najee Smith last year, and they had him shed like freaking 40 pounds of fat or muscle, whatever, and he was small, and that's why you barely saw him, or there was no run stopper because he was small. They made him lose weight instead of like letting it help him use that weight for us instead of basically losing weight so he's not fast enough and able to get to the ball fast enough or tackle people. Then we got Kansas State offensive guard Cooper Beebe, number 73 overall, another offensive guard to help out with the reigning and the older we get. Notre Dame linebacker March Lufa, and number 87 overall. Wake Forest defensive back Keelan Carson, number 174 overall. Southeast Missouri wide receiver Ryan Flournoy, number 216 overall. Louisiana offensive tackle Nathan Thomas, number 233 overall. And Auburn defensive tackle Justin Rogers, number 244. I didn't think we did that bad. I'm not going to go as far as an A-. I'm going to go with a B+. I'm a Cowboys fan, diehard Cowboys fan, and if I'm saying B+, it's a B+. I'm sorry, NFL, I get you. You're all knowing, but I think personally we could have got better. We could have did better. And it really isn't the draft-wise. It's really free agency as well as kind of preparing for the draft without free agency. With free agency, could have been much better. So I give ourselves, in general, a B+. Now, gaining a third-round pick in a move down the board and still landing a starting tackle made for a successful Thursday night for Dallas, Nealon, and BB should prove to be excellent values, while Lufo will be a solid addition to the middle of the Cowboys defense. Notre Dame backer was picked a bit early for my taste, though. Denver Broncos, I give them a B. They picked up Oregon QB Bo Nix, a number 12 overall. Utah linebacker Joanna Elas, number 76 overall. Oregon wide receiver Troy Franklin, number 102 overall. Missouri defensive back Chris Ambers Drain, number 145 overall. Notre Dame running back Erdrick Estem, number 147 overall. Utah wide receiver Devon Valley, number 235 overall. South Carolina OG offensive guard Nick Gargolo, number 256 overall. Day 1 grade, I give them a C. Day 3 grade, I give them a B-, and day 3 grade, I give them an A. So in all I give them a B. Time will tell whether Nix will be a top-notch starting NFL quarterback or viewed as a reach by a team in a desperate need for talent under center. Time will also tell whether the 2023 first and 2024 second rounders the Broncos sent the Saints to acquire Coach Sean Payton along with a 2024 third-round pick will lead to a championship in Denver. I don't think so. They got a lot more to do. For the Lions, I give them a B+. A lot of people, NFL gave them a B. I'm going to give them a B+. Alabama defensive back Teron Arnold, number 24 overall. Missouri defensive back Ennis Rackstraw Jr., number 61 overall. And British Columbian offensive tackle Gavani Manu, number 126 overall. Utah running back Sion Vaki, number 132 overall. LSU defensive tackle Mika Wingo, number 189 overall. Boston College offensive guard Christian Magani, number 210 overall. I don't think the Lions did that bad, but at the same time, I think they could have did a little bit better. But barring with the picks that they had, they didn't do that bad. I give them a B+. A day 1 grade, I'm going to give them a B+. Day 2 grade, I gave them a B-, and day 3 grade, I give them a B-. The Lions doubled up at corner in the first and second rounds, flexing their aggressiveness by trading a third rounder to move up for Arnold instead of staying put, and possibly selecting his Bama teammate, Kool-Aid Mixtry. Detroit got fair value on Rackstraw at the end of round 2, though the team also could have used another edge rusher or wide receiver. That's why I think I've just put them at a B+. If they would have got or tried to get 2 of those needed spots, I think they would have been bumped up to an A- or an A. Green Bay Packers, after bamboozled and blustered my Cowboys last year in the playoffs, I give them a B- for their grade for the draft. They picked up Arizona offensive tackle Jordan Morgan at number 25 overall. Texas A&M linebacker Edgren Cooper, number 45 overall. Georgia defensive back Javon Bullard, number 58 overall. USC running back Marshawn Lloyd, number 88 overall. Missouri linebacker Tayron Hopper, number 91 overall. Oregon defensive end Evan Williams, number 111 overall. Duke center Jacob Monk, number 163. Oregon State deep end back Keaton Oladipo, number 169. Georgia State offensive tackle Travis Glover, number 202 overall. Tulane quarterback Michael Pratt, number 245 overall. Penn State defensive back Kalen King, number 55 overall. Day 1 grade, I give them a B-. Day 2 grade, I give them a B+. Day 3 grade, I give them a B-. I think they end with a B-. Morgan's pass protection skills give him a chance to replace the 3-time Pro Bowler David Bakhtiari in left tackle, or he could prove himself as a nice positional blocker at guard, allowing the Packers to get their 5 best linemen on the field together. Cooper and Bullard were excellent picks in round 2 with both fillings needed, but I was a bit ambient of the team using a third-round selection on a running back, a good one in Lloyd, and a second linebacker. Now the Texans, I mean, how much better can the Texans get? Like, holy shit, I give them an A+ in this draft. Not to mention they got Stephon Diggs. They did all this stuff. They're going to be a contender next year, a bona fide contender next year. It's going to be something to see next year for the Houston Texans. Draft picks, Georgia defensive back Kamari Lester, number 42 overall. Notre Dame offensive tackle Blake Fisher, number 59 overall. USC's defensive back Kalen Bullock, number 78 overall. Ohio State tight end Cade Stover, number 123 overall. Oregon linebacker Jamal Hill, number 188 overall. Louisville running back Johar Jordan, number 205 overall. USC defensive end Solomon Byard, number 238 overall. Auburn defensive tackle Marcus Harris, number 247 overall. Michigan offensive guard Ladarius Henderson, 249 overall. Day 1 grade, I give them an A-. Day 2 grade, I give them a B+. Day 3 grade, I give them an A. Houston built on the momentum from last season playoff run with a strong 2024 draft plan. The pre-draft trade with Minnesota to move out of the number 23 overall slot and out of round 1 entirely netted a Texans 2025 second rounder and didn't prevent them from addressing a roster sore spot with Leicester. The Vikings used their original second-round pick on Fisher, who still needs more polish to his game. Time will tell whether Bullock was the right pick over the numerous other safeties still on the board. The Colts, I give them a B. They picked up UCLA defensive end Latio Lata, number 15 overall. Texas wide receiver Adonai Mitchell, number 52 overall. Pittsburgh offensive tackle Matt Gongles, number 79 overall. Wisconsin center Tanar Bortolani, number 117 overall. Oregon State wide receiver Anthony Gold, number 142 overall. Missouri linebacker Jaden Cardis, number 151 overall. Auburn defensive tackle Jalen Simpson, number 164 overall. Marshall defensive back Micah Abraham, number 201 overall. Oklahoma defensive tackle Johan Luho, number 234 overall. Day 1 grade, I give them a B+. Day 2 grade, I give them a B-. Day 3 grade, I give them an A. Jacksonville, I give them an A-. They picked up LSU wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr., number 23 overall. LSU defensive tackle Mason Smith, number 48 overall. Florida State defensive back Jaron Jones, number 96 overall. Missouri offensive tackle Javon Foster, number 114 overall. LSU NT Jordan Jefferson, number 116 overall. Mississippi State defensive back DeAndre Prince, number 153 overall. Texas running back Keelan Robinson, number 167 overall. Arkansas Cam Little, number 212 overall. And Texas Tech defensive end Miles Cole, number 236 overall. Day 1 grade, I give them an A. Day 2 grade, I give them a B+. And day 3 grade, I give them an A-. Now moving to the Kansas City Chiefs, defending two-time Super Bowl champs, trying to make a three-peat. I give them an A-. Texas wide receiver Xavier Worthy, number 28 overall. BYU offensive tackle Kinsley Samatuzi, number 63 overall. TCU tight end Jared Wiley, number 131 overall. Washington State DP Jaden Hicks, number 133 overall. Penn State offensive line Hunter Norson, number 159 overall. Tennessee DB Kamon Hayden, number 211 overall. Holy Cross offensive line CJ Hansen, number 248. Day 1 grade, I give them an A-. Day 2 grade, I give them an A. Day 3 grade, I give them an A-. If you're wondering how the Chiefs stay on top, just look at this draft. Paul Worthy is sort of the speedy difference maker that the Chiefs have searched for since trading Tyreek Hill away in 2022. They did not give up much value on AFC rival Buffalo in the trade up to select him. They also did not have to reach for Samatuzi, who should work himself into the lineup at tackle or guard. He is able to improve on his footwork. B1, Las Vegas, I give them a B+. Georgia tight end Brock Bowers, I think, was a great pickup for them, number 13 overall. Oregon offensive guard Jackson Powers Johnson, number 44 overall. Maryland offensive tackle DJ Glaze, number 77 overall. Appreciate the likes, guys. Keep it up. Thank you, Cassius. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, my guy. Mississippi State defensive back DeCameron Richardson. They're number 112 overall. Ohio State linebacker Tommy Itcherberg, number 148 overall. New Hampshire running back Dylan Lube, number 208 overall. Air Force DB Trey Taylor, number 223 overall. Pittsburgh DB MJ Devon Shear, number 229 overall. Day 1 grade, I give them an A. Day 2 grade, I give them a B+. Day 3 grade, I give them a C+. I like the way they've been doing. Bowers was too strong a value to ignore and will be a nice third down and red zone option for whoever's quarterback in the squad for over the next decade. Powers Johnson was also a good find in the mid-second at the position of need. Glaze will need to show he was picked at the tight end the right time by eventually earning a starting spot. Los Angeles Chargers, I give them an A+. With Jim Harbaugh at the helm, I think they did great. Notre Dame offensive tackle Joe Alt, number 5 overall to protect Justin Herbert. Georgia wide receiver Ladd McConkey, number 34 overall. Michigan linebacker Junior Colson, number 69 overall. Alabama defensive end Justin Ibubuke, number 105 overall. Maryland defensive back Tarneeb Still, number 137. Notre Dame defensive back Cam Hart, number 140. Troy running back Kamani Vado, number 181. USC wide receiver Brendan Rice, number 225. Michigan wide receiver Cornelius Johnson, number 253. Day 1 grade, I give them a A. Day 2 grade, I give them an A-. Day 3 grade, I give them an A-. I give them an A. Alt will doubtlessly be a good offensive tackle for the next decade or more. Chargers fans will keep an eye on wide receiver Malik Neighbors, who went 6th overall to the Giants, to see if he would have been a better pick. McConkey could quiet and such concerns with the quickness and excellent routes. It'd be able to stay healthy. Head coach Jim Harbaugh found a leader on a defensive in Colson, who played a role for Harbaugh in Michigan. Rams, I give them an A. Florida State defensive end Jared Verse, number 19 overall. Florida State defensive tackle Brandon Fisk, number 39 overall. Michigan running back Blake Corum, number 83 overall. Miami defensive back Carmen Kinchins, number 99 overall. Washington State DN Brandon Jackson, number 154 overall. Clemson defensive tackle Taylor Davis, number 196. Stanford kicker Joshawn Cardi, number 209. Texas wide receiver Jordan Wickerson, 213. Arkansas center Brix Lermer, 217. Kansas State offensive tackle KT Lefston, 254. What were the Panthers rating? Let me go back up, my guy. I got you right here. They are way up here. Okay, the Panthers. I believe the Panthers grade the NFL gave them was a B. I personally thought they could have did a little bit better, so I gave them a C+. So that was the Panthers grade right there. Cassius, I got them as a C+. NFL got them as a B. I think they could have did a little bit better. Day 1 grade was a C. Day 2 grade was an A, and day 3 was a B+ for me. I thought it was a C. Was a D grade. Day 1 I thought was a D+ C. Grade day 2 I thought was an B+, and day 3 I thought it was a B. So now we move up. Now we go to the Miami Dolphins. Miami was I give them a B+. So I gave them a B+. I just answered Cassius the Panthers. I got them at a C+. NFL had them at a B. Now for the Miami Dolphins, they picked up Penn State linebacker Chop Robertson, number 21 overall. I do like that pick. Houston offensive tackle Patrick Paul to help out with the offensive line for Tua Tagovailoa. Tennessee running back Jalen Wright, number 120. Colorado State linebacker Mohamed Kamara, number 158. Virginia wide receiver Malik Washington, number 184. Cal defensive back Patrick McMorris, number 198. USC wide receiver Taj Washington, number 241. Yeah, I could agree with you, Cassius. There was really not really much picks. I mean, they could go with. Obviously, they kind of messed up with the Bryce Young one last year because they gave up top picks in this year's draft for Bryce Young. But I think they could have did a little bit better with an offensive line and helped out with the wide receivers. But again, not bad, solid. I would say I would agree with you. Day 1 grade for Miami, I give them a B. Day 2 grade, I give them a C-. Day 3 grade, I give them a B+. Minnesota, how many left do we got? Man, we still got a lot more. Jesus. Okay, we gotta speed this up. All right, Minnesota, I give them a B. I do think that Minnesota is I appreciate it, my man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Keep sending those. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. J.J. McCarthy, they picked number 10 overall. I think that's a good pickup for Minnesota, especially with Justin Jefferson needed there. I do think that's a great pickup. Alabama linebacker Dallas Turner, number 17 overall. Oregon defensive back Kira Jackson, number 108 overall. Oklahoma offensive tackle Walter Royce, number 177 overall. Alabama kicker Will Richard, number 203. Wake Forest center Michael Jurgs, number 230. And Texas A&M Commerce defensive tackle LaVey Drake Rodriguez, number 232. Day 1 grade, I give them an A. Day 2 grade, I give them a B. Day 3 grade, I give them a B. Yapping about the NFL draft, my guy. It's we're going over the grades for each team and how I thought each of those teams were going up. But yeah, that's what I'm yapping about. Now we move on to the New England Patriots. They did all right. I think I give them a B minus. They picked up Drake May. They got a wide receiver in Jalen Polk. They also got offensive tackle in Sadin Wallace, with also a Texas A&M offensive guard, Layden Robertson, wide receiver Javon Baker, South Carolina defensive back Marcellus Dial, and Tennessee QB Joe Milton III. I don't know why they went with 2 QBs, but I mean, I guess because they're looking for an answer. And if Drake May's not one, then they'll move on. Who do I think had the worst draft? That's hard to say. I really don't think it was the Panthers. The worst draft could be, I don't know. A lot of these grades were pretty well. I think the worst one that I did look at was, for me, to be honest, dude, I think, Aiden, I would probably go with the Browns, bro. For right now, what I'm looking at, I think the worst draft was probably the Browns. So I would go with the Browns is probably the worst draft. I think they could have did a lot better. And as well as the Falcons. I think it's the Browns and the Falcons. I think it's tied with me. I do like the Falcons. Yeah, I do agree. They reached a lot on. Michael Penix might be the worst pick ever. Cassius, I do agree with that. I think that would have had to been the worst pick in a while. I don't think there's been a worse one, especially when you paid Kirk Cousins all that money. Yeah, Browns not having a first screws them. I do agree with that, Aiden. I do agree with that mightily. Browns not having a first really did F them over. But I do think that they could have did still better. The fact of the matter is it looked like they didn't try. But I do think that the Falcons and the Browns had probably the worst. I probably would go with the Falcons and then the Browns. Falcons worst, Browns second worst, and that's pretty much it. We move to the Saints. I give them an A minus. They picked up a lot of stuff they needed: offensive guard, defensive back, quarterback, wide receiver, linebacker, defensive tackle, and offensive tackle. Giants. I hate to say it, but I do give them I give them, honestly, want to stay with the NFL. I'll give them a B plus. Yeah, I do agree with that. Latio Luto, I think they should have went with him. B plus for the Giants. They got Malik Neighbors, safety Taylor Nubin, cornerback Drew Phillips, tight end Theo Johnson, Tyron Tracy Jr., running back Darius Mansu, linebacker. Jets, I give them A. I think they got Penn State offensive tackle Oluman Fashuno. I think that was a great core aid and rather were great value. Yeah, Aiden, you got some good stuff there. I do think that's great value for them. But the Jets, I think they did well, barring the fact that their season went really badly last year with the loss of Aaron Rodgers 4 snaps in. Then they went Western Kentucky wide receiver. They also went Wisconsin running back, Florida State QB, South Dakota State running back, defensive back, and Alabama defensive back. So I think that give them an A for their draft. Philadelphia, it's hard to say, but I am actually going to say Philadelphia has an A plus. Sorry, it's hard to say. Yes. Thank you, Aiden. The only thing that I would mess up with the Jets, I would say, and Aiden, the Sports Talk with Aiden, you can find him on TikTok. Go follow him. He's got some great content. I could also say that the left tackle, they could have waited. I think they could have picked back Brock Bowers. I would have liked them to pick Brock Bowers. I think him and Aaron Rodgers would have been fan-freaking-tastic. Now the Eagles, dude, they keep being great in the draft. I mean, they're an A+ for me. NFL gave them an A-, but I give them an A+. They picked up the best DB in the draft in Quinion Mitchell at number 22 overall. Iowa defensive back Cooper Deshawn at 40. Houston Christian linebacker Jalen Hunt at number 94. Texas Clemson running back Will Shipley. Texas A&M wide receiver Aeneas Smith. Clemson linebacker Jamal Trotter Jr., Michigan offensive guard Trayvon Keegan, Florida State wide receiver Johnny Wilson, and NC State center Dylan McMahon. I think they did great. Steelers, I'm going to give them an A. NFL gave them an A. I'm going to give them an A. Washington offensive tackle Troy Fortuno, number 20 overall. West Virginia center Zack Frazier, helping out the offensive line for Russell Wilson. Michigan wide receiver Roman Wilson. NC State linebacker Peyton Wilson, South Dakota State offensive guard Mason McMurk, and Iowa defensive end Logan Lee, with also Texas DB Ryan Watts to finish out the draft. I think the Steelers did really well. Yes, went back to my Cowboys. Yes, Ezekiel Elliott. We were going to talk about that on the Apple Podcast and Spotify audio show because I am already 40 minutes into this show. I'm not going to have enough time. So I will do that on the audio show. But yes, I did see Zeke going back to the Cowboys. I mean, we could have did a lot better than Zeke. I do. It's great to have it's great to have Zeke back, but at the same time, I mean, he's older. I would have liked to see if we can get one of those young running backs, but it wasn't our time, as always. That's just the way the Cowboys go. San Francisco, I give them a B. They got Florida wide receiver Ricky Pearsall, not knowing what happens with Brendan Ayuk. Florida State DB Ronaldo Green. Kansas offensive guard Dominican Puni. Wake Forest DB Malik Mustafa. Louisville running back Isaac Guerrero. And Arizona wide receiver Jacob Cohen. USC offensive tackle Jared Kingston, Florida State linebacker Tatum Burthon. So I think that's there. Seattle, I give them a B+. They got Texas defensive tackle Byron Murphy II, Connecticut offensive guard Christian Haynes, UTEP linebacker Tyrese Knight, Michigan tight end AJ Barner, Auburn DB Nathan Pritchett, Utah offensive tackle Satua Lafuma, Auburn DB DJ James, and Finley offensive tackle Michael Juro. I give them an A. B+ for Tampa Bay. Tennessee, I give them an A-. Washington, I give an A-, and that's pretty much it. For Tampa, they got center Graham Barton, Alabama linebacker Christian Broswell, Washington wide receiver Jalen McHale, Oregon running back Bucky Irvin, UTP OG offensive guard Elijah Clean, Washington tight end Devin Culp. Then for Tennessee, Alabama offensive tackle J.C. Latham, Texas defensive tackle Tavontre Sweat, North Carolina running back Cedric Gray, Louisville defensive back Jarvis Broadland Jr., Tulane wide receiver Joanne Quan Jackson, Miami linebacker James Williams, Michigan linebacker Jalen Harrell. Washington, LSU QB Jaden Daniels, Illinois defensive tackle Zerzon Newton. Michigan DB Mike Sainasursty, Kansas State tight end Ben Sunot, TCU offensive tackle Brandon Coleman, Rice wide receiver Luke McCaffrey, Temple linebacker Jordan McKee, Washington DB Dominic Hampton, Notre Dame defensive end Javante Jean Baptiste. So that pretty much finished out the NFL draft. Appreciate you guys tuning into the NFL draft. We are now going to be moving on. We are currently 43 minutes into our show. We are now going to be going into the NBA brackets and the NHL brackets. So let us roll right now. So I'm going to share my screen so you guys can actually see what I'm doing here on our show. So let me share the screen right here. And let's get right to it. So first up, how are these series happening? We got Thunder and Pelicans right now. 1 versus the 8. Pelicans are down 3-0. This next game, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. I have OKC sweeping and advancing to the next round to face the winner of the Clippers Mavericks. What a game. This could be one of the best playoff games I have ever seen in a real long time last night between the Mavericks and the Clippers. The Mavericks were down 31 freaking points, came all the way back, and the Clippers held down the fort without Kawhi Leonard. I really think personally the Clippers play much better without Kawhi. I think Kawhi is just a detrimental, and he keeps bringing down the Clippers when he plays because he's never fully healthy. I do agree. Suns are done for the next 7 years. They're done for the next fucking 15 years, bro. Sorry for cussing TikTok because I know you guys are going to ban me in just 2 seconds if I keep cussing. So stay with it. Clippers, Mavericks. I have Mavericks winning this series. It is tied 2 games apiece. This is on Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have this next game of Game 5. This is going to be one hell of a series. I'm going to take the Mavericks winning still in 6. I think they win 2 straight. I think Mavericks win, and they play the Thunder in the next round. So it'll be the Thunder versus Mavericks next round. Then you move to the Timberwolves versus the Suns. Timberwolves swept the shit out of the Suns last night. They won 4-0. Anthony Edwards by himself demolished and literally ripped the soul out of Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and the Suns organization and fans. Timberwolves are in the next round. They are awaiting the Nuggets and the Lakers. Call me crazy, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care what the hell you say or anybody on this thing says here on my YouTube or TikTok. Lakers, bro, don't let us get one. They let us get one. We win tonight. I don't know, man. I never give up hope. I was the only one in my school and of anybody I knew when LeBron was down 3-1 with Cleveland versus the Warriors in 2016. I was the only one that I knew that said that LeBron was coming back and winning that series. And look what happened. Again, same thing is going to happen. Down 3-0. He made history coming back from a 3-1 deficit. He's going to make history yet again, coming back from 3-0 and winning tonight. But again, if we lose tonight, you guys can all clown me. But hey, I'm a true Lakers. I'm a true fan. And if I could say that LeBron James and the Lakers and Anthony Davis are going to win this series, then hey, you know what? How can you fault me for being a true fan? Only fake fans think that they're out of it. Real fans stay true to their team. So I'm staying true. I got the Lakers winning in 7 and advancing to play the Timberwolves. We get past the Nuggets, we ain't losing against anybody. Quote me on that. We get past the Nuggets, we ain't losing. Now, if we lose tonight, obviously it's over. We'll see. Now, it would be the Timberwolves versus the Lakers, in my opinion, in the next round. For the West, it would be the Thunder versus the Mavericks, and then that will be that. In the East, you have Boston versus the Heat. Boston dropped the game in Boston. I don't know what the hell they were doing. I think the Suns get a win, and I think the Heat get a win over the Celtics tonight, and I think they tie up the series 2-2 going back to Boston, but then I think Boston wins in 6. And then I'll have Boston taking on Cleveland. I have Cleveland. It's tied 2-2. It's a great series, but I still have Cleveland winning this series. I have Cleveland versus Boston to advance to the conference finals. Then you have Bucks versus Pacers. Pacers are up 3-1 without Giannis and Dame. They don't play tomorrow. Pacers are going to win in a gentleman's sweep, and I got the Pacers winning this series. Even though I had the Bucks, I believe, winning this series, I'm going to take the Pacers winning it. I got the Knicks versus 76ers. I still got Knicks winning in 6. So I would have probably Knicks, Pacers. I would like to see Knicks, Bucks, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Pacers do win. And that would be that series. Now we move on from the NBA bracket. That is it. We are now going on to the NHL bracket. And I got to tell you, man, my Rangers, they are the best team in the NHL right now. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear what anyone has to say. My Rangers are the best team in the NHL all through and through. Yeah, the Pacers shocked the shit out of me. Dude, I agree, Aiden. I did not see the Pacers were going to do that, especially be up 3-1. Maybe 2-2. I could give you 2-2, not 3-1. I did not think 3-1 was even a thing. But again, no Dame. He got hurt. Giannis has been hurt. If Giannis and Dame is playing, this series is not even a series. I think it's a much better series. I think it's a Game 7 series. Bucks win Game 7. But that's just me because it's in Milwaukee. Now we move to the NHL, where in the NHL we have Dallas up losing 2-1 in this series. Dallas did get a much needed win last night. I think Vegas is going to. I think this series is going to go 7, and I got Dallas winning this series. Colorado gets a win over Winnipeg. They're up 3-1. I thought Winnipeg was going to win this. I still have Winnipeg winning it, but again, Colorado's a tough out. They have won a chip this year. They know how to play. I do think Winnipeg can still come back from a 3-1 deficit and win this. Vancouver, I think, is winning in a gentleman's sweep. They're advancing to the next round. I still have Winnipeg versus Dallas in round 2, and I have Vancouver versus the Oilers in round 2. LA, the Oilers won last night against LA. I think they win in a gentleman's sweep. Now moving on to the other side of the bracket. Yeah, thought Giannis would be back in game 3. I thought as well Giannis could have been back in game 3, but it looks like that injury wasn't as like little as everyone thought it was, even the Bucks organization. Florida's up 3-1 against Tampa. I think they gentlemen sweep them to go to round 2. I think Boston gentlemen sweeps Toronto to go to round 2. Rangers already swept the Washington Capitals. First time since 2007. They swept the team. They are now in round 2. And they are awaiting probably a gentleman's sweep by Hurricanes, who are down up 3-1. And I think it's Rangers, Hurricanes, Bruins, Panthers, Dallas, Winnipeg, Vancouver, Oilers. That's how I think the next series is going to go. And I'll catch you guys then. Other than that, guys, that is pretty much it for our show here today on the Fire Sports Pod. I appreciate all the support, you guys. Appreciate all the stuff on our TikTok Live here. Again, hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday afternoon and a great rest of your week. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. We're going to stay here on TikTok Live, just talk a little bit while I set up some stuff. But that was pretty much it for my show. I appreciate all your guys' support, and I'll catch you guys on Wednesday for Season 3, Episode 13. It's been a great ride so far, and let's keep moving. Peace out, guys.